Welcome to the Founders Chat, where I talk with founders about the hidden moments behind building their companies. I am Alan, former Google engineer and a founder myself. Today we have Fares Amer from Amer Pharma. Welcome, Fares.
Thank you, Alan. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well. So let's start with the first question. Tell me, what is Amer Pharma?
Amer Pharma is a company dedicated to pharmaceutical distribution. It's basically a warehouse with all the required licenses to deal with manufacturers of medicines and other distributors. And we can distribute to hospitals, to other distributors, to pharmacies, and we can export in Europe and outside Europe. It's not about only logistics, because what we do is try to build a portfolio based on many medicines that other manufacturers do, and we try to reach where they don't reach, and actually we do it. So this is our aim. Some manufacturers focus a lot on national markets and on manufacturing itself, and a good part of their business is also based on the distribution, on what we do as traders and distributors. We work with shortages in markets. Sometimes there are markets where some medicines are needed, and we work with importers that make these requests to us, and we make medicines reach these countries or these areas where they don't. We also work on having competitive prices, which is something very important in the market access. I mean, you can have best quality of products, but if prices don't match, the product doesn't reach the patients. So this is our biggest muscle. One of the things we also do is not only trade with medicines. One part of our business is to register and represent these manufacturers. Some of the biggest manufacturers in the world, like multinationals, big names, like can say Pfizer, GSK, and so on, they are not present in all the countries. I mean, people might think these big companies, they are present everywhere, but they are not. So we have the partners, and we investigate, we make research in the markets, and with our partners, we reach the manufacturers and we propose them a business plan to register their products. We will be the representatives. We become experts in the products, and we go there and distribute it.
Okay, and when you speak about these markets, are these underdeveloped markets or European markets?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, you can't believe it. Maybe you're talking about, I don't know, Ireland itself. It might have a shortage in one product. Yeah. Actually, there's a product we distribute here in Spain. We requested more stock at the beginning of September. There were no stock.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's about stocks. If there are any product that is needed continuously, it's like rice in the supermarket or bread. People always need
All right.
bread. But if you
And when
have
did you
no
start?
bread, at some point you have to bring it from another country.
Yeah, that's totally true. And when did you start this journey with Amer Pharma?
Well, this journey actually started, let's say, 10 years ago, because it's what I started to do when I started working in the pharma industry. I started as a consultant in pharmaceutical logistics. So I used to travel abroad to bring all the expertise we had here in Spain in terms of automation, logistics, optimization, and service to the pharmacies. We used to take it to the Middle East, for example, which was my first market, because it was a market where retail pharmacies were very developed, but warehousing was not very well established. It was so. So there we had a good chance to develop some projects, to build some warehouses, to establish some good practices, and so on. And since then, I started in the pharma business. Then, of course, I kept moving between some companies. I managed some countries, and then two continents, which are Africa and Asia, as area manager. I used to export as well to find products. You become sort of a seeker. You seek products, you seek the price, and you make things happen. It's very dynamic. So I kept working for other people, and of course I made other projects. I had my own startup. It didn't go very well. I had other projects, another company, and it also didn't go very well. With all these learnings, I said to myself, let's do what we know what to do, and with this we can grow. We can focus on one project which I know the business very well. I know the contacts, I know the people. I traveled through a lot of countries. And when we have a good business ongoing, a good revenue, then I can start building other startups or other projects that are good for society. Not going directly like to venture capital, like I already did actually, and it failed. To build your own, let's say, your own empire, let's say, your own place, your own income. You pay your bills. You're mentally relaxed with that, and then you can focus and let your skills become into projects that are good to
Yeah.
society.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's already a lot of work and stressful building a business, and when you have financial pressure on top of that, it's really really hard. I've been there.
Well,
I'm not there yet now, and hopefully I'll arrive to that point. But yeah, I completely get your point here.
well, it's a journey, Alan. It's a journey. Look, I got married at the age of 24. I've been 9 years married. I have a son who is 6 years old. So you like it or not, you have to keep going. You have to keep running. Um, Sometimes you make bad decisions. Sometimes you think you made a good decision and you get a slap on your face and a good learning. Um, I mean, the concept of entrepreneurship is very attractive. Is very nice. And at the same time, if you have the chance of not having this financial pressure and having to pay bills or having family and so on, maybe you can go smoother, maybe. But I have to confess that having this pressure made out of me a very good entrepreneur, and I learned a lot in a very few time. And now I think this decision of building Amer Pharma with a business I know and developing it is the best thing I can make to make other entrepreneurships happen, because I will not stop doing more companies. I will not stop making more entrepreneurship projects. Actually, I'm very into supplements, into food supplements, into fitness, into artificial intelligence. But you cannot live from that yet. So you need some good structure to make you pay the bills at least.
A lot into fitness as well. Let's have a chat later. Cool. So I have a question because you mentioned something about having warehouses in Middle East. I thought you didn't have like all that part of the logistics in your company. So maybe can you explain me more about this?
Ah, no, no, I don't have it. I don't have warehouses there. We used to visit warehouses. We used to
All
visit
right.
other companies like mine and make some consultancy projects, which were about processes, which were about maybe improving the warehouse. Let's say they actually used to locate the products by ABC criteria, which is not a good criteria for logistics because you need the fast moving goods, the fast moving medicines to be in more accessible places, and the least moving goods you need them to go in less accessible places, let's say. Okay, so you have to order your warehouse according to the business criteria, not to like an ABC criteria or by manufacturer, for example, or include the use of some technology or some warehouse management systems, which are softwares, or even automate, make a good automation in your warehouse to have more quality in the delivery, less errors, and more control on the stock, because this way you can manage also the expiries and so on. So we used to visit. I wish I had warehouses in Middle East, so why not, maybe in the future.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So you mentioned that in the last 10 years, you've been working in this industry. You had different jobs and also tried to start a couple of different product startups. And at which point did you decided to go all in with Amer Pharma and left the other jobs or other projects?
Basically, when you go bankrupt twice, it's when you decide it's time to focus on something you know about and some business you actually know how to manage, and something you can grow and make it scalable. Knowing this business, it's not the first time I meet people like me. Like they were like in the food industry, then went through other entrepreneurship projects, etc. And after same situations like me, they decide to establish their base in something they actually know and go for it, because it's not very easy to build a new company like from scratch, something innovative. I feel it's like some kind of obsession. Let's build a startup. Let's go for the unicorn. Let's raise a lot of capital, of venture capital. Let's make this press release and so on. Like create a lot of hype. It's like stressing, But sometimes it feels like it's only like smoke. New entrepreneurs like the 20s, 20 years old, and these young entrepreneurs, they have a lot of motivation, very few experience, not a penny, and they want to make like this extreme big huge projects and start with 200,000 euro of raised venture capital and sell it for $2 billion. That's not something feasible. I mean, this happens. They are exceptions. Actually, they are exceptions because you need a confluence of many things. There should be a momentum, like the founder should be the one and the team should be that team. The market should be responsive. The investment should be also very well invested in each marketing and sales and growing in people. And so you need to do things very well. And there is some kind of momentum that make you grow like hell and
Yeah,
reach this kind of unicorn companies. No, um, I believe startups should be created by people, or at least with people who have experience and who understand let's say the way of the business growing, and to set step by step accordingly and reasonably. Not like
yeah.
my first step is to raise capital, my second step is to raise more capital, my third step is Series A. What about the revenue? What about the benefits? What about thinking in how much people, how to be efficient when you are working on your startup? What is actually the real KPIs? And the reality is that investors are requesting numbers. You need to sell.
It's really, I think it's a really tough game. I'm in that game now. I've been there in the past as well. I have a couple of failures and a couple of successes as well, and I know it's a really really tough game. Now in Nexoc, well, I had co-founders. Now I'm solo founders. Um,
You're
when
brave.
you have not everybody stay, and I understand. It depends on personal situations. Sometimes you just can't handle financial stress. Sometimes you can. So yeah. Long story short, I'm solo founder again, and I think it's super important to persevere and pivot as many times as needed. And still, even if you do everything right, and even if you stay long, the chances are probably still low. But I think why we stay, and you're an entrepreneur yourself, is because the reward is really big. The cake is huge. So if you manage to get it right, and it takes time, it can take, it's called the Death Valley. It can take a year and a half, but you learn super fast in this period of time. Of course, if you do it right, you pivot super fast, and then the cake is huge. So if you make it, you're solving a huge problem for society, probably making out tons of money, and then you can even start different projects that are going to help society even more. So yeah, I would fully agree. It's a tough game. Now with AI, I have the feeling that everything is moving 10 times faster.
Yeah.
I think it's even harder to be on top of everything,
Yeah,
but it's fun.
especially after artificial intelligence, no? It made things go really faster, and you get out to date immediately. Week after week, you find something new. There's something about what you said, and I know if you're also obsessed or kind of obsessed with this, but I'm obsessed about legacy, on what you leave here after you die, after we pass away. What do you leave here? So for me, leaving something here behind which made an impact, a good impact, and this is why I love entrepreneurship, is because everywhere I look, I find something to solve or to improve. And this, I'm sure this happens to you. Like you're not comfortable with what you see. Like God damn it, this should improve. This can't be like this. I would do it in another way. So this constant non-comfort, um, I think it moves us. But actually, I can say this legacy thing. I would like my son to be proud of me. For example, I would like to be myself proud of myself. Why not? Look, I solved something huge or small. I don't care. But I solved something. I improved something on this earth. I solved something for some people. This makes me wake up every day and to keep going.
I really hear you here. I agree. And sometimes I think this is more a curse rather than a blessing because
Yeah.
we have this inner fire. And I promise I tried. I had a great job, work life balance, amazing, zero stress. I could do a lot of sports, which I love. I play tennis, run every day, but I couldn't. I couldn't stay. I needed to to do something by myself, and it's tough. But I think it's life, and I try to minimize regret. I think if I die tomorrow and I look back, would I be proud of what I did? If I tried, at least I tried, right? But if I didn't, I wouldn't probably be proud of myself. So I agree.
That's true. That's true. And actually, fire, something we have to learn as entrepreneurs is to control it, because sometimes it might burn you. I mean, I'm sure you had and every entrepreneur had very stressful moments in their life, moments where you needed to be mentally strong, and even moments where you were mentally broken. So it's hard. It's hard, and the worst part is that your body requires you to be an entrepreneur, because you said it. I also had a very good job. I was well paid, zero stress. I wasn't the owner of the company. I didn't have to do any decision. I mean, I was just one more employee, and it was good, but it was just that for me.
Something is missing. Yeah, I understand. And I know so many people, like the great people in big companies. And now I think I can predict the future. When I speak with somebody and I can see they have entrepreneurial mindset, I predict they are going to quit their job and try something. And it always happens. It's really hard to stay in your comfort zone when,
And also, I think if one of these people go back to another job, like normal job, they won't stay there forever. I mean, it's only like it's always temporary. It's always temporary. We need to go for more. Yeah, but of course, you have some slaps in the face. You learn a lot, and I think one of the best things is having this mental training. I mean, go with some specialists, with some therapists, to have also a big consciousness about your body, about your physical, I mean, your health, your integral health. Like, I never made so much sport as now, because I need it. And I know if I want to be successful, I need to take care of my body and my mental health, because otherwise you cannot take this pressure. You need to
yep,
eat properly. You need to have some routines. You need to have a lot of control, a self-induced control, because actually it's your company. You are your own boss and slave. So it's you who put the timings. You decide your timings. So if I decide to wake up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 11 a.m., it's up to me. I can't do it.
yeah.
but but will this be good for me, for my business, for my family, for everything? So you need to have a great skill of management, of time management, of discipline. Otherwise, you can't succeed in anything.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. And I think for many of us, sports is like what's keeping the balance. For me, it is at least. It's my anchor. If I don't
Percent.
wake up every day and go for a run, then I don't sleep because maybe I'm too stressed and I just don't sleep. And if I do sports, it compensates.
No, no, a lot, because going to run like even half an hour or something like that, it's not only good for your body. It's good here.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. No,
It's
I'm
good.
speaking about the mind now.
Okay, so we're on the same, we're on the same page.
Yeah, 100%. Um, okay, tell me, is there something about your early story that nobody knows or most people don't know?
Wow. Well, yeah, actually, a lot of people don't know about this.
Oh, okay. So
I
you
love
were
heavy
playing
metal.
and you played for a band or something.
No, actually, it was something I started when I was 15 years old. I started learning on YouTube how to play the guitar. And actually, well, no, 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 no. I first started because I studied in a Catholic school, and the priests normally they know how to play the guitar and some church songs. And I'm a Muslim. So it was funny because first months I used to go to the classes the priest used to give, like to learn some basics about the classic guitar. And of course I was in love with heavy metal and with grunge and punk and so on. So I bought an electric guitar and started learning by myself. So actually it was one of the things I loved during my teenager years. And I had two bands actually. I gave some concerts. Yep. And now for me, it's a hobby. I regret not practicing more because it makes me forget about any stress, and I love it because you go into deep when you're singing or playing the guitar and you are into the song. Like you forget about everything. This is something not a lot of people know about me. And actually, you look at me and you say, it's not possible you like heavy metal.
Okay, yeah, that's really interesting. But you still are kind of connected to music, right? You told me before you have the mixer.
Yeah, and actually, I'm very into, let's say, art because now, for example, this year I finished my voice actor course. I like doing voices, and I like because here in Spain, all of the foreigner films are double to Spanish. So here there is a good market for this, even though you have AI tools that are doing the same. Like this, the same podcast can be in Chinese or in Arabic or in any kind of language, and actually they will make the lip sync for you with your same voice. These are some AI tools, but it's so funny to make this. Like being a voice actor taught me how to speak better, how to use the voice, how to play with the pauses, how to read better, how to communicate better, which is a very good skill that we as entrepreneurs need to have because you need to sell your project. At some point, you need to sell something. So communicating is basic, and it's not only music. I love cinema. I love films, and this is why I love the voice actor thing. So this is something also people don't know about me because I'm like always the scientist in my family, in my group of friends. I'm a pharmacist. I made my PhD in preventive medicine and public health. I'm like always the nerd guy, but you don't expect me like to play the guitar or be a voice actor.
Yeah, yeah, that's really interesting. But yeah, I completely agree. I think any job or any activity that requires you speaking and then you listening to yourself helps a lot with communication. Since I started this podcast and then I'm listening to myself, at the first one it was like, wow, I'm so bad at speaking. Have so many gap fillers. Now, over time, it's getting a little bit better. So I guess being a voice actor helps a lot as well because then you see yourself. Well, you hear yourself.
You don't see anything. You see like the film, the actors, and you have to listen to where you made the mistake, or did you pronounce an R, a D, an S, or an ish, or did you mix up some letters and so on, or did you breathe right? So it makes you more attentive. So developing this skill also applies to other parts of your life. You can be more attentive to an email you send, for example, or more attentive to some prices while you are quoting something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I think you spoke about AI before. I know a bunch of these tools. Now you can uh, do translations. You know, it's not called translation. Like, yeah, voiceovers with 11 Labs, and now with Google AI Studio, you can do similar things. But I think because now all this can be generated with AI, I think communication, like the personal, the human touch, is becoming more and more important. I think this is going to be like number one skill in the future. How founders, entrepreneurs, but even employees are able to communicate. So I think it's going to be the number one skill.
I love what you say because this generation, like after the 2000, um, they don't like speaking by phone. And this is something I heard many fellows in the industry and some other entrepreneurs, even older than us, like in the 40s and the 50s, they complain about this. Like people send a WhatsApp audio messages, they follow up by email once and again. They're like afraid to pick the phone and call. What can we say about facing a one-to-one conversation like like what we are having now? This will make what you said, and I completely agree. This will make the skill of communicating one-to-one personally, like not being afraid of what you're going to say now, and knowing how to take it and how to process it immediately and be good at this skill. This will have like 10 or 100% not percent per 10 or per 100 more value than what it used to have. In the past, you didn't have any chance. You needed to go actually before the phones, the normal phone, you didn't have any chance. You needed to go to speak with your boss directly or go to speak to your client directly.
Yeah, and now like chats can be faked, emails can be faked, even calls can be faked, right? So real communication, I think it's a skill that is less and less people are having because it's not necessary, but it's becoming more and more important. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially here in entrepreneurship, Alan, if you don't know how to communicate and how to sell your project and how to make it attractive, how to play with now I'm going to sell my project to some kind of client, some kind of supplier, some kind of investor. If you don't know how to modulate the way you sell the same project, different tones, different voices, different types of discourse, you will not be successful. So all of these people, if they want to be good entrepreneurs, they should have this skill in a very high level.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's go back maybe to Amer Pharma to do a quick wrap up. You mentioned that you're distributing products in countries where there was a need. Let's say there is a medicine that was not arriving to Spain, Italy, and you make it happen, right? You speak with the labs, the chemicals, and you make it happen. Medicine arrives to the destination. That's super clear. But now you're doing this business, and was this the idea from the beginning, or were there any pivots in the middle?
Well, let's say the pivots came before because before building this company, I used to be a pharmaceutical broker. Broker is a person in the pharmaceutical industry. It's not very well known. Actually, in Spain, you cannot find 100 brokers. You can have an idea. It's a very rare figure. So I was broker number 86. So what does a broker do in this pharma industry? It's basically putting a client and a supplier in contact and making the operation having a commission. Basically, this is what we do. But it has this name like pharmaceutical broker because we deal with medicines. It's not like dealing with cars or dealing with any other kind of product. Not that sensitive. Okay, so I tasted which countries, which clients were better to make business with, and I used to work with a couple of companies, with a couple of warehouses as broker, as external broker, while I used to have my other jobs and so on. And then when I saw good figures, good numbers, I said, why I don't invest my commissions and open my own warehouse? Because I know
Amazing.
how to do it. And actually, not not a lot of people can do this because as a pharmacist, pharmacists you can find them anywhere. I mean, in all the chain of the medicine, you can find them. Since one chemical active principle, one excipient at the beginning of the chain, or even in the research, which comes even before getting the medicines created, you have pharmacists doing research from the chemical compound, from the animals, from in vitro with cells, whatever you want. You have of the people of them making computer engineering for drugs, drug discovery through computer engineering. So this is we do everything actually. So you find pharmacists everywhere in the chain. So to own a pharmaceutical warehouse, you need this figure which is called technical director. A technical director since 2013, you cannot just get your license, get your title in the university and open your warehouse at the next day. Now the law doesn't allow this. The law requires you to have at least a couple of years of experience because it's something very specific and it's very sensitive because you're selling huge amounts of medicines, thousands of packs, much more than one pharmacy. So it requires you to have some knowledge to be able to use your license to get the authorization from the healthcare authorities. So thanks God, in my first job, when I was making these consultancies, I was also technical director. So I have more than 2 years of the required years of experience to open this warehouse. So this time, I can tell you it was a very rational decision. And at the same time, I felt it was the moment because I know how to do this since years, but
That's amazing.
I didn't I didn't do it yet. So this time I felt it was the moment and I went there. And I need to tell you something, Alan, and this is something very important in the industry. Ethics. Working with ethics. Why also I decided to stop working with other people and work myself? Because there is a huge lack of ethics everywhere, everywhere. You sign a contract and it's like signing nothing sometimes. So it's very it's very worrying, it's very disappointing to see this because you can't find something to trust. So this is why also I prefer to make things myself with my ethics and having my own employees, treating them right, because you also when you deal with other companies, if you are an entrepreneur, you know how to do things, you know how to treat your employees, your team. So if you don't agree with the companies you're working with as an external guy, you cannot keep going with them. So this is one of the things that really made me also feel it was the time to make it with my own rules.
Okay, we spoke before about the importance of doing something that is helping with the stress and keeping your mind in place. And we discussed about the importance of sports. So tell me, how does a regular calendar day looks like for you?
Regular. Okay, let's start with the most regular things, which are the sleeping time. I sleep normally at 10:30, maximum 11. I wake up at 6, which means I need 7 hours and a half of sleep. Now this is sacred for me. I don't bargain with this. Years ago, I used to sleep 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. This was very bad. So I sleep 7 hours every day. I wake up at 6:30. I used to normally I used to have this first half an hour like to go slow. Years ago, I used to be like so stressed and went like very fast in the morning. Like I need to go to a lot of things and hyperactivity and so. No, no. I like to wake up. I pray. Of course I wash my face. I make my coffee. I go slowly. I usually have my coffee in my garden. I have a piece of garden, so I like to breathe some fresh air, have coffee, wake up, and then I like to go doing some exercise. I need to confess this months I'm not doing what I like to do, which is CrossFit, because I've been through many things these months and. I'm not very now motivated to go to it, but I will be back. So now I try this first hour, after this half an hour of waking up, I need to go to run or maybe do some. I have a small gym at home, so I like weightlifting. I have also some machine here in my gym. So let's say I like to sweat a little bit now and then go to work. So sometimes I have to go to take my son to the school. Sometimes I don't. So it depends on the organization. But I start working. Sometimes I go to the warehouse. Sometimes I stay at home working and talking with my colleagues and employees. You can say that at least 1 or 2 days a week I have some kind of lunch with any supplier or client. And in the afternoon I try to relax. Maybe do some sport. Sometimes I try to play paddle once or twice a week. I mean, I'm not a big player, but I like to go and sweat again just to get rid of any stress. And of course, have some time with my son and my wife, with my family. So I try to make it a little bit boring.
The time with your family or the day?
No, 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 no. My calendar, I don't try to make it extremely overwhelming. I try to have sort of a boring life, boring, because I need this routine to be productive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think it's important. That's funny. I never heard that, but I've spoken with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I think we tend to. Our goal is to have a day like the one you're describing, because otherwise it can get super messy. And I think
Exactly.
I try to do that as well. And now I'm in a phase where I can't. I end up working 80 hours per week, but still, for me, my therapy is sports in the morning. So I do it every morning, no matter what. I like running. So if I have time and motivation, I run 10 kilometers every day. Now it's not the case. Now I go to the gym. Gym is easier for me. And I catch up in the static bike, with my phone. So it's not ideal, but at least,
But you keep moving. I mean, it's important to keep moving and to take care of this, to sweat. You need to sweat. No matter how, you go to run, you go on the bike, you go to the gym. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think we shouldn't like idealize any kind of sport. Sports are good. The best sport is the best sport for you, the one that gets you addicted to it or the one you get motivated with. This is your sport. This is the best sport for you. Go for it, and don't leave it. And actually knowing how and what to eat is also very important because you cannot be on junk food every day just because you're stressed. You don't have time to cook or you don't have time to select your food. I mean, I made it like a part of my job. I mean, convince myself because we're like that. Human being is like that. You need to work more properly. You don't take care of your health. You stop eating well, sleeping well, doing anything for your body and for your mental health. This is the biggest mistake
yeah.
we do. So when I get more stress or when I know I will have more stressful periods, that's when I try to make more exercise and sleep better and disconnect more just because I need to focus more and solve things in a better way. So eating well, sweating, doing some exercise, sleeping very well, and we like some kind of supplements that help me with my memory, with my energy, with my productivity, and with my quality of sleeping.
I think we are more or less at the same stage because I'm doing something similar. I'm taking some supplements. I take a few supplements, but I realize creatine, it helps a lot with a lot of things, not just performance in sports, For me, it gives me more energy to work, be more focused. And, like this period of time that I'm working a lot, a few years ago, I could have slept less and maybe eat bad. But now unconsciously, it's like I stopped alcohol. I'm not a big drinker, but this couple of beers, I try to avoid them because I know I'm going to be more tired and I'm not going to be.
No, it's a toxic. I mean, it's like any other toxic in the world. I mean, if you drink this couple of beers, you will not die. I mean, but you will not be the same guy tomorrow if you don't drink. I mean, you will be more focused. You will rest better. Same happens when you are addicted to cigarettes, for example. You need to go to have a cigarette every half an hour, every hour, every 2 hours, whatever it is. But you need this, and it's toxic for your body, for your mind, for everything, and also for your pocket. So I think we need to be very aware, entrepreneurs, about taking care of this kind of toxic in our lives. And any kind of toxic, I mean, junk food every day is toxic. I mean, it's not good for you, for your health. And actually, you said something very interesting, which is creatine. Creatine for me is basic. So any person who's not taking supplements today, she or he should take creatine since now, immediately, because
Yeah,
it's for everything.
it's
You
insane.
said you said it's for performance, yes, of course, but it's for cognition, it's for energy, it's for everything you need from here until you die. You should take creatine.
There was a recent studies, and probably you know more about this because you're a pharmacist. But there are some studies that are saying that creatine can, if you sleep bad, but you take creatine, it can balance it. It's like you can still have the same energy. I don't know how true it is, but I found it very interesting.
I need to check this because I didn't see it, to be honest. But creatine is the most studied supplement. I mean, it's been 50 years since it's being studied in the human body, and how it affects us. And you can only see good things. Only. I mean, there is a lot of myths and lies about creatine, like it will make your hair, it will make you lose hair, or it will make you blah blah. It's all lies. I mean, the, not everything called study and published by a scientific journal is actually good, because you have categories of scientific journals, you have categories of studies, you have quality of studies. It's not the same as study you make with 5,000 people than with 50 people. And sometimes you look behind and you see that, for example, this was financed by the same company that sells supplements for hair growth.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
this
yeah,
happens, you know,
yeah,
ethics.
yeah.
This happens.
All right, so let's go back maybe to Amer Pharma. You mentioned that you're a solo founder. Was this always like this? Have you considered getting co-founders?
Well, the first stage of my life, I was a solo founder because it was something about I want to do everything myself. I trust myself. I don't trust anyone else. It's my company, so I do it. Of course, it went good sometime, then it went bad. Nothing about me or anything else. It was about the business. When I went into the venture capital, the startup we founded with the venture capital fund, we were the venture fund and another three founders. We were like four parties. Then started the problems, because you can't join people with only knowing themselves in one weekend. We had different ways of working. We had different backgrounds. You had, for example, one person that came from working in the same big industry for 23 years, zero startup mentality. You had me, myself, I am very startup mentality, so I like to have a good environment of work. I'm not very fan of I am the CEO, you do whatever I do, you do whatever I say, you do whatever I direct you to. This is not how a startup made by three people goes, because you need to go and do things by yourself, not only like give guidance and that's it. And also the vision. The vision is very important, because if you have three teammates and each one of you have a different view of the company, you're doomed. You cannot go for success. So we had some problems. We had to fire the CEO. I became a CEO. We had this marketing manager. It didn't go well. I turned up alone. Then we hired another person. It all went bad. So in all these months, we ran out of cash. And actually, you mentioned something before, which was about pivoting. It's very important to know. My proposal, which was go from B2C to B2B, was accepted very, very, very late, and we went bankrupt. So this is it.
Yeah.
So I am again a solo founder. Yes, as founder, yes, but I'm not alone. I mean, as a founder in the cap table, I am. I am myself, but in the company, I'm not alone. So I learned how to choose the people, the right people. I learned how to direct these people and to motivate them. And I learned that alone I can be powerful, but if I join the right people, I can be 100 times more powerful.
I'm fully aligned with you. I think hiring is the most important thing in a company.
And actually, it's an investment if you like doing money and you like doing numbers. If you want to expand your team and you don't see how you will get the return of this investment of hiring them, then don't hire
Yeah.
because it's not the right person. But if you see, even if it's about making your role, like getting rid of some of your functions and giving them to another person, if you will be much more efficient at making business, closing deals, and getting more money, this investment is good. Then hire this person. But if you don't see the reason why you should hire one person, don't do it because you are wasting your money.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. All right. So, is there a trend that you think people are underestimating?
Trend. Can you give an example?
Yeah. For example, well, in the startup ecosystem and everywhere, actually, AI is the trend today, right?
Mm.
Do you think people are overestimating, underestimating it? You know, it can be something about the markets. I don't know.
I think it depends on the industry. I think some people is having like different feelings about it. Some people is rejecting it, like oh, it's something new. Some people is over loving it, and I think they think it's something divine, and it's only one tool, an amazing tool. And I think some companies are not aware actually of this trend, and they need to go into it because the quality of the company depends on artificial intelligence. I mean, there is a good company has good processes. If you make much better processes or automate some processes, your company will be much better. You will avoid errors. You will avoid having to hire more people and make your company much bigger uselessly. Now you can find a way, a middle way path with AI. If you implement it very well, you can find some optimal point where you get the benefits and your company can keep scaling and growing. But I think it's not only a trend. I mean, AI, it's here to stay. I mean, it's a reality. Do you remember before Google, we didn't have anything? I mean, you need to go to the library and to look in the books. Actually, it was very sexy to have at home your own encyclopedia, like all the, you know, all the volumes there. It was something very nice to have at home, actually, like oh, the most updated encyclopedia. When Google and all these search engines became popular, and it was amazing because you had updated information every day.
Yeah.
Encyclopedias lost all the presence at home. Like, why do you have an encyclopedia if tomorrow they will find another new animal and they will name it in another way and you will be out of date? So AI,
I
tell me.
Yeah, sorry. I want to say that I agree with you. Think we're actually underestimating it. I think we are. The comparison would be we are in 1997, where Google was not invented yet, but the internet was. So we couldn't really imagine what the next 20 years were going to look like. And then a lot of things came up, right? All the SaaS services, mobile phones, like smartphones. I think we're at the same point. I think now we're trying to solve problems with AI, um, but the old fashioned way. It's like, okay, we have a tool, we're applying AI to this tool, but native AI tools, I think they don't exist yet. So I think what we're going to see in the next few years is amazing. And I agree with you. You know, I'm the technical guy. I'm a software engineer, and now I'm the CEO of Nexthook. but I've been CTO as a co-founder before in the past. So I know the importance of using technology, automations in companies. And I think it has been mandatory for the last 10 years, but there are still some companies that manage to survive doing it the old way. I think that's over now. Companies that are not really implementing AI in their processes, they don't have a chance. Because just imagine, I've seen companies with call centers, like half of the employees are call centers, right? Customer support or even sales. Imagine that you're one of those companies and your competitor starts integrating AI fast, and then they reduce the costs by 50%. And, you know, it's not about fighting people, it's about the end product. Like they are going to be selling the same you're selling, half the price. You don't stand a chance, right? So
That's, that's right. It's not costs.
I think it's mandatory. So fully agree with you.
Well, actually, a lot of businesses right now are, I think they're out of date. Like going to to the shopping center. Do I have to go every time to pick the fruit and the products I consume? Like this concept for me, it's outrageous. I mean, there are still people and the cashiers taking your products. I mean, you need to go to put everything in the basket. Then you go and put it in the cash. They pass it, they scan everything, and then you put it again in the basket. I mean, it's so antique. We have AI now.
I don't know. I don't know why this still happens in Spain. Like, I mean, in other countries as well, but in Ireland, you go to supermarkets and some of like most supermarkets, you have these automatic cashiers, the machines, and you do it yourself. I know in Spain,
We have this auto service thing, but I mean, it's I'm thinking out more like I should like send it should be more like the online shopping.
okay, yeah, I get
Like
your point.
why this huge amount of supermarkets and huge amount of surfaces and this repetitive task of scanning? You can have your employees doing anything else to improve the company growth. I mean, not only scanning. I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah, you're going next level. Yeah, like
yeah.
removing the.
Why having my employees there? We could be growing the company at some other point, and they're wasting their time like scanning.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, I agree. I don't. I have the maybe it's hard to envision, but I have the feeling that going to supermarket is an activity. You don't necessarily know exactly what you want, but you discover there, and you see the product. So I don't know. I like going. I think it's going to stay, but maybe not. But I I could like to see something like, I don't know if you've gone to Decathlon recently. You drop all your stuff and you don't need to
Yes.
even scan. Something like that could be great. It's much
That's it.
easier.
And actually, even like putting the basket in some scanner and getting it out, and that's it. I mean, even not going, even like putting your criteria and how to choose the fruits and the vegetables and fresh beverages, and just go and pick it, or you have it taken to your home. Like to me, it's like a waste of time. When you reach like this mentality, I think going there, like wasting my time and to spend money at the same time, it's like double waste of time and money because I could be doing anything else, like resting for me is better than going to the supermarket for 1 hour or 1 hour and a half. It
Yeah.
gets me desperate. or
Yeah,
the or
yeah,
the
yeah.
big malls and shopping centers, it gets me really desperate. It's so
Yeah, yeah,
antique.
yeah.
Like AI, maybe it will take 10 years, like to have this, what you said, this native creations, whatever it is, products by AI. I actually thought at some point we could reimagine and redesign the cities to make them more optimal, redesign everything with the AI. Like how can we make, I live in Madrid, how can we make Madrid much more optimal? With all the information we have about traffic, with all the information about the, the rush hours, with all the information about the roads, how can we make it in an optimal way? How we can spend some kind of money to optimize and redesign the city and the accesses. This could be amazing and make all the cities more ecological and much better. I think it's what you said. We're not using it. We're using it like, what do you recommend me to? I will go to this shop and this shop. What do you recommend me to have or to take or to buy? Like, come on, it's much more powerful.
It could be great. Look, I have this family. I'm 34. I do sports every day, and I want to eat healthy. Just do the shopping for me.
That's it. That's it. Like to making your own diet. Like I know how to do it with the Chat GPT. But it's the least this thing can make. Like you train it for 1 hour or whatever, and then you give it the criteria, and it goes well, very well. But I mean, it should be going much beyond what we are using it. You said it. Like we are in the 90s using a tool of now.
All right. So let me ask you one of the last questions. This is a profound one. How do you define success?
Nice question.
I love this one.
Today,
For yourself, like the day you say, okay, now I consider I'm successful. Maybe you are, or you have goals towards.
I believe in success as the moment when I stop working for necessity and start working to have fun and to have my own time. Like if this leads me to having plenty of freedom for my own time, for my family, for myself, and to make a good legacy, this for me is a good success.
Okay. So basically, being able to do whatever you want to with your time and for yourself would be working on something bigger than yourself that you really love doing. Amazing. And okay, let's go with one of the last ones. If a 22-year-old self, I mean you with 22 years old, comes to your office and you can have a chat with him, what could you tell him?
Wow. You know, I had this, I thought about this like, wow, if I knew what I knew before or whatever, or what should I tell myself? I would tell myself, keep it going. Keep it going. I mean, if I change just one thing, I wouldn't be myself today. So even my mistakes, even my learnings, even the people I met, I became friend with, or I didn't become a friend with, or any fight I had or any discussion, I wouldn't change a thing.
I
Just
agree.
keep it going. I would tell them, keep it going. Yeah, that's it.
I think we are forged with pain. So why would I change the painful situations now? That those situations are the ones that made me who I am today, right? Like, of
That's it.
course, I could like to prevent painful situations in the future, but the ones lived, leave them there, you know?
I wouldn't tell him to change anything because of exactly what you said. Maybe if I went to tell him anything like keep your hope, just just that things will be good. You just keep it going and go through everything.
Cool. And if you need to send a message to your customers today, what is the message?
Thank you for your trust.
Love
Nothing
it.
else. Nothing else. Because they are when some customer purchases anything from me, they pay me money. They pay me in advance actually, and they hope things will arrive, and they actually arrive, and they repeat. I just can be thankful. And if you want
Okay.
me to add something, they can buy more from me.
I'm sure they do.
No, but this is something we need to be very aware. Like, it's not about you. It's not about me. I mean, I believe nobody's special. I mean, it's about relations. It's about how you make things happen, how comfortable you make people be, because they might have many suppliers, they might have many clients, but if they're staying with you, it's because of your way of working, because your ethics, because of your skill also. If you're not very skilled, maybe on getting a lot of products, maybe the ones you get, you're good at this, you treat them right, you fulfill, they pay you the money, you bring the goods, it's good, that's fine. And if you want to have more customers, if you don't have the space, even if you have more skill, at some point you will fail, because this is what makes people stay with you. You can have a 20-year relation between you and a customer. If you fail once, trust is
Yeah.
gone. is
Yeah.
gone forever. So if you do things right, and then you get more skilled, and then you get more products, more clients, better prices, that always will increase your business and be much better. So you just can be thankful for them to keep choosing you every day.
We're both in business and we know how hard it is to find people we can trust. So I'm sure that if you are fair with them, you know, like if you do what you say, even if one time you have a problem and you explain and you make it right, that's why people keep choosing you. It's really hard to find somebody to trust. So we agree on this. All right. And last one, what is your superpower as a founder?
Wow, my superpower as founder. Can you have more than one? No, I believe my superpower is perseverance. I don't stop. I'm always looking for ways to make business better. The business I already have, make it better, and the business I don't have to bring more. I'm always thinking about it. So, and I'm very perseverance. Like I am very persistent, very disciplined in this way. Like if I put a goal, I do all my efforts to reach it.
I have a question for you because I feel this way. I am like this sometimes too much. And I know that you had to leave two startups in the past. Where do you draw the line of, okay, I need to let this go? Because we can be too much obsessed with something. And because we persevere, we can ruin ourselves. We can go bankrupt, but not just the business go bankrupt. We can bankrupt ourselves because we keep investing and we can work unlimited hours per week and ruin our health. So where do you draw the line? Okay, I persevere, but I'm not stupid, right? Because sometimes I feel that I get too much obsessed.
Actually, it's a very good question. I learned to say no after all these years. I learned where to see this line. I mean, sometimes it's not drawing this line. I think it's about seeing the line. Like if you set up your criteria, like saying, well, it's taking this time from me, this like it's taking this effort from me, it's giving me this revenue. If it doesn't match all this equation, I just let it go. And I don't regret because I I truly believe I should knock some doors, or I should knock maybe all the doors sometimes. But you can knock for a couple of times or 10 times, and you can have this good revenue, this good result. But if you're going to knock like for 2,000 times and break your hand, that's not good. So I became more pragmatic, and maybe I learned where to see this line, where to see it, and not regret it, because you can jump to other things. Like, okay, I knocked 10 times here, nothing happened. Maybe I can knock a couple of times next year.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
You know what? I truly believe in. Well, actually, I don't believe in coincidence, but I believe in the process. Like, if you're interested in getting like to having access to one country, and you know there are like 5 players, you knock the doors today in one way. Let's say cold emailing or having some phone calls. It doesn't go well. You can keep trying the same and become like the spam guy in the email, or you can try to find other ways. Like, okay, I'm interested in this country. Let's see what exhibitions, what fairs that might happen, and you go there in person. If none of this works, there are like 195 countries in this world. I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can go and seek. Maybe it's not your piece of cake. Maybe it's not your part. I believe I have my part in this world, as well as I believe you have your part. I think it's impossible to have all the part for yourself, all the cake for you. So if you believe this truly, you will see things coming to you. I'm not saying in the easy way. I mean, you keep the process going and you start like collecting your efforts. But if If you don't, if you feel it's burning you or it's being tired, just let it go, man. Let it go.
Yeah. Nice, great advice. Really appreciate it. I try to apply it myself. Yeah.
I
All
didn't
right.
say anytime it was easy, huh?
Yeah. And you know, I've been through all kind of different experiences. I've been in situations where I knew when to draw the line, and I've been in others where I didn't. I should have left before, maybe. You know, so that's why I was really curious. I guess this is something that only experience can give. You know, um, and sometimes because it happened in the past when you think, okay, you put yourself a deadline. Okay, if I don't make this work by that date, I'll just do something else. And then it starts working and it starts growing like crazy fast. And it's like, wow, okay, I was right, you know. And then you think when you well, and I left something else. Sometimes I think, okay, maybe I should have stayed a bit longer. But then I know some cases of people that I could say wasted, but like worked 10 years of their lives in a project. They lost their hairs, you know. They didn't take care of their health, you know. They worked super hard and it didn't work, you know. Like they should have probably done something else, but it's really hard to know, you know. I think it's part of the game.
Actually, we cannot know the future. Maybe after 10 years, they would see a result, maybe not. But we can go back to what I said at the beginning. You need to live, you need to pay some bills, you need to eat. So I believe no project is higher than your basic needs. I mean, you shouldn't kill yourself waiting for a project or something. Maybe you can keep it sort of alive and do other things that make you happy, that pays your bills, that give you a quality of life, some health. But today, I can tell you, I believe there is no project higher than my life. I mean, I love my life. I want to grow business wise. I want to make some other projects. But above everything, you have my health, you have my family, you have my beliefs. I will not sell this again because of one project at any price.
Yeah. Amazing. Great advice for entrepreneurs out there and
Thank you,
myself.
Alan. Thank you.
All right. So I think we covered everything. We spoke about the importance of trust, of keeping a routine, keeping a health mind and body, and working on something that we have experienced, an industry that we really know. I see this is working for you, and I've seen this working for many other people. Starting trying to create unicorns is fun. The cake is big, but sometimes, like most of the times, it doesn't work. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation. Thanks a lot for being
Thank you,
here in the
Alan.
show. Thank you.